Hi Flosstubers, let's try this again. It's Diane. Today is September 11th, 2021, and I hope you take some time during this week, this time of the year, to remember 20 years ago how our world changed, and it affected more than just America. I do remember that day very distinctly. I was recovering I had a 3-week-old baby who had been very, very sick his first week of life. And there were several times we thought we'd lose him. We did not. God healed him. As in, they had his file copied. All it needed was the doctor's signature to transfer him to a specialty hospital. That's how sick he was. But he's 20 and tall and responsible, and he's studying history. He loves kind of the geopolitical stuff. That very much is his kind of history, particularly modern world. He is going for a history major online at this point to get all those gen eds out of the way. It's cheaper in the long run to do it that way. But he knows he wants to have a history major, and a history major, he might become a history teacher or work in a history tours and museum. There's a lot of things that you can use a history degree for, and I see him doing something like that. I could see him as a middle school history teacher. I could see him doing that. I remember that I was exhausted. I crashed. We had a whole bunch of events happened, one thing after another, and then he was born 4 weeks early, and he was very, very sick, and then I just crashed. And I remember my husband calling and saying, turn on the TV, and I'm like, I don't turn the TV on during the day. He said, no, you need to. And I remember looking at the news coverage, and I'm like, aren't there supposed to be 2 towers? Because the first tower had fallen. I did not realize that at the time. And then within minutes of my watching, the second tower fell. And the rest of the day I did watch TV. Yeah, I will never forget that. And I hope you take time not to hate on people or blame people or any of that. But just to reflect, in your personal life, do you respect others? Do you show kindness to others? In your small little world, that can mean a lot. And if you do your little bit, and I do my little bit, and everybody does their little bit, I pray we're never in that situation again. I know that's not realistic. Let's just say I am disgusted with Washington, D.C. right now. All of them. I don't care. R, D, I, PDQ. I don't care what they put behind their name. They are not representing the people. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. This is a channel for cross stitch and quilting. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Shift my focus, shift gears. Log Cabin Americana is the quilt you see behind you. And I think it's very appropriate that I show this today. Not that America's perfect. Lord knows we are not. But in America, we have the freedom to recognize mistakes of the past and present and to take steps to prevent it from happening again. We have that freedom. And that's what when I see the American flag, that's what I see, is the freedom to change. And not every country can say that. We can change our traditions. We can not change our history per se, but we can learn from it. And that's what I see in the American flag. And this quilt is a lap size quilt. It is roughly 58 by 82. And on my channel I have what I call Quilty Tube. I walk through this quilt. I received this as a Mother's Day gift as a kit from shabbyfabrics.com. This particular fabric line is not available, but when I looked last week, they had the same pattern but a different fabric line. So if you're interested in getting a kit, and their kits, if you watch my video at all, their kits, you have a lot of fabric. So if you make an error, you've got wiggle room. They have a kit available in a different fabric line, same pattern. They also have the pattern available on their website, and I will link that below. I plan on quilting this on my home machine, and I haven't decided if I'm going to just do vertical lines or horizontal lines to give that flag feel. I haven't decided which direction, but that's what I'm going to do. So that is my background today. And even if I wasn't a Marine mom, which patriotic things have definitely caught my attention. Excuse me, my allergies are just this time of year. I love the fall, but there are certain things that pollinate this time of year that just kill my allergies. But patriotic quilts and patriotic stitching definitely catches my eye and has caught my eye more since my son's been a United States Marine. And he's doing well. I talked to him this week. We're good. I was going to do this video last weekend, but we worked on our entryway, and I have it on my YouTube channel as a private video. I might put a little 2-minute video out, kind of walking through the entryway. I haven't decided yet what we did. I did that. It's a way to share with family and friends who are interested. I might make it public, I might not. But we essentially shiplapped our entryway, so if you walk in, you get a kind of a cabin-ish feel. We still have a lot of work to do, or I should say, we have hardwood steps, and I'm going to redo those. We're going to put a new floor in. I've got to do all the trim work, all the little, it's like a cake that's frosted, but now you got to add all the little things. And so I have to do that. But it's nice to have it as it is right now. It just updates our house. We used to have this closet there. It's gone. And by putting the shiplap up, we didn't have to re-sheetrock. We still have to do a new floor, but we'll get there. So I didn't do this video last weekend. But I have some finishes in progress. Somebody was using that acronym. I don't remember who was. I know my husband said it once upon a time, but somebody else used it on their Flosstube. So I have, where to start? I'm trying to find a pattern. Hold on. Hold, please. It is in here. When I was in Wisconsin, on that video, my last video, I showed this little kit I bought through Buttermilk Basin. Some of their kits come with just the pattern. Some come with pattern and wool, and some come with pattern, wool, and cotton. This came with pattern, wool, and cotton, and they are ready to be stuffed. I haven't decided. So, okay, this was done by my machine, but all here on the wings and stuff, that was done by hand. It's very new to me. Same thing with this guy, and these buttons I just found in my stash. And this guy. Now this decorative stitch was added by my machine. I was trying to figure it out, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to use one of those fancy stitches I never use on my machine on this. But all around the flower here, the stem, and the leaf, that's all hand done. So these are ready to stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to stuff them with polyfill or walnut shells. I have both. I'm thinking probably walnut shells for these. But I'm not sure if that would that discolor this light fabric? But stitching wise, I had these guys waiting. This guy is from, oh, I was gonna get this pattern out, I'm so sorry. It's from Teddy Bears Year Round, Teddy Bears All Year Round. It's a Stony Creek book. They did this in their magazine. It was a series for an Afghan, and I actually stitched the Afghan. I should have grabbed that too. It's buried right now. It would take me too long to get it out. It's for my first grandbaby whenever that happens. No pressure. No pressure on anyone. Someday that'll happen. But I was stitching a Boyd's Bears piece, and my youngest son at the time, who is going to be 17 this month, in 12 days. Holy smokes. He's going to be 17. He said, well, why aren't you stitching me something, Mom? So I stitched this little bear for him. And this is from the April month. There's a little thread on there, so sorry. You can't see, but this little black is kind of a sparkly black. It was kind of a pain in the keister to use. I'd use something different now. But it was fun, and it stitched up really cute, and I just put fabric on the back. And this guy, I'm probably going to stuff with polyfill and actually hang it on the Christmas tree for him, because I like to give my kids Christmas ornaments every year, and then when they leave my home, they can take all their ornaments with them and they have something to decorate a tree with. I do that even for my kids that aren't living at home anymore. I still give them a Christmas ornament. And I've been looking at the one. Last year we gave them one to celebrate our Norwegian heritage, and this year I'm looking to celebrate our German heritage. And then this guy, Buzz Off, Plum Street Samplers. This fabric. This fabric is probably a Lugana. It's a light blue-gray. I have no idea beyond that point. I'm pretty sure it's 32 count. This one is 36 count. Antique white. I used the DMC colors except for this orange here, because I saw the variegation, but I didn't see the variegation. I wish I would have used, I did one strand over 2 threads. Down here it looks great. I wish on the crow I would have used 2 strands or use like a sulky thread or something. But it kind of makes them, you know how crows, if you look at them, they're kind of iridescent a little bit. It kind of gives that effect. That's what I'm going with. Otherwise I use DMC, 1 strand over 2 threads, 36 count antique white. I have his companion, Eat Crow, kitted. It'll be on the same fabric, and this is, the model was originally stitched on 36 count. In the picture it looks like it's smaller, like it would be, you know, this size, but this is the size on 36 count. The model, not sure where he's hiding right now, was stitched on 36 count. So that's a pretty big pillow. So this guy is going to be stuffed with polyfill. Yeah, I don't think it would be easier to display with walnut shells. So, and this is what I put on the back. Scrap of mine. So these guys are ready to get stuffed and sewn and displayed at some point in time. So as my FIPs, finishes in progress, I also have a finish. Now I know I showed, well, I'm gonna hold off on those. Where did it go? There it is. This one, Life, Liberty, or no, The Pursuit of Happiness, My Big Toe Designs. Now I was making this for a smalls exchange, so it was too big with all the words, so I took the words off. I took this border and I moved it over here. And this is 28 count Wren. picture this plus, and it's a Lugana. So it is done except for the sunflower buttons. I have not had the chance to get the sunflower buttons. The chart, I could have stitched the sunflowers also, but I wanted to do the buttons. So this could be a small for a smalls exchange, but I need to get the buttons. I haven't had a chance to go to Stitchville. I did order a few things through for Expo, and they just haven't come in yet. So when they call me, then I will pick up the sunflower buttons. I did not use the call for colors, which are weeks. Do I have what I used? I do not. I know in another video I talked about what I used though. So this one is, it's almost done. I just have to add those buttons and then it'll be done. And I do know how I am going to fully finish it. I'd originally bought this piece of fabric for baskets by Rosewood Manor with the Valdani threads using 3 strands. I did not like using 3 strands of Valdani. So I reordered a piece, and I got a 36 count Wren, and I'm using 1 strand over 2 threads, and I like it much, much better. That piece is not done, but finishes. I showed this bag when I was in Wisconsin. Now that I'm done with my wool, I'm not sure what else is in here. So look at that. Well, I also made this guy. I don't remember what's on the inside. Oh, green. Christmassy. And his companion. I love the birds. And yeah, I love that. And it has the same interior, I believe. Yes, it does. And these guys, now I messed up on these guys. Now, this is the same fabric as this. These guys look like companions. Except I put the wrong fabric on the back. Instead of this matching the back, this matches the back. But you know what? They're for me. They work. I don't have anything in them at the moment. This guy has a herringbone on the inside. And what does this guy have? Just a gold. These are for me. And I haven't put a project in there. I need to go through and make my plans for 2022 and then use my bags. So those are also finishes. I'll put those over here, get them out of the way. So what have I been stitching? I have, this one's 3 Things by Moira Blackburn. And last time I showed it, I had this, let's see, from the alphabet up I had done. The alphabet up, I had these done also. This is a 40 count Verdal white. And Verdal white, it's a nice fabric. It's an even weave and it's nice to stitch on, but it does like to fray. And even when I zigzagged the edges, it seemed to fray a lot. So what I did is I just took Quilt Binding and I just stuck that on the edges. So it just to protect, because I stitch in hand, so my edges would get a little more worn than if I used a frame. And here's where I'm at. I added this here and I started this section. My goal is to get this section done. I don't know if I'll be done by the end of the month, but I do like this, and I am using the DMC called for threads, 1 strand over 2 threads. And it's just beautiful. These colors are just beautiful. DMC is not a bad word. It's fun to use other threads, but DMC is not a bad word at all. And it is Sampler September, so why am I not stitching on that one? Because I'm me. Where should I put this guy? I'll put him over there. For Whip Go in August, right? No, July. I was supposed to put 1,000 stitches into Persephone by Laura Corbett, Mirabilia, under her Mirabilia label. And thank you for those who liked my Mirabilia stash sharing video and my Nora Corbett stash sharing video. Oops, that's upside down. Like, that doesn't look right. I added, oh, it is this way. For July and August, each month was supposed to have 1,000 stitches. I've done July's, 1,000 stitches. So I had to restitch this, and I've added a lot of white in here, and I've added all this. So that's all 1,000 stitches. So for August, I still need to do 1,000 stitches on her. We are not in a fight, which is good. Every time she's my oldest whip, and every time I pull her out, we get in a fight. This is 32 count, vintage antique field Lugana. It's this Weigart, so I don't know the company beyond that point. But it's in all the called for threads. 2 strands over 2 threads. So I need to get back to her too. But again, it's September. It's sampler September. And I've been kind of tired because we did all that and I was sore. My knee's been acting up. So I haven't been in the mood to stitch. And that happens. We all have those moments. This one is Anne Morrison. I showed her when I was in Wisconsin. It's no longer available for purchase. Doing mine on 40 count Havana by Weeks Dye Works. Using the 100.3 silks. 1 strand over 2 threads. And last time I showed her, I had all this done. And I didn't have the bird complete, but he's now complete. The initials here, this heart here, this basket is not complete. There's a few more colors I have to add. But there's initials here, these trees are done, initials here. On this big guy here, I just have to finish the urn. These eyelets are just killing me. I have the inner row and I have the outer, or the middle row, and I'm working on the outer, which is this red. Oh my word, these eyelets. I can only do them for so long and my eyes get cross-eyed. But this is the bottom of the sampler, so the end is nigh. The due date to have this done to be eligible to enter a drawing for an antique sampler is December 5th, 2021. I still think I'll meet that, but yeah, those eyelets, oh my gosh, I can't do them at night when I'm tired. I have to do them during the day. I have a haircut coming up this week. I need one. With the 100.3s, I use it as it comes off the spool. There are some Avaris because my LNS did not have all of the colors that were called for in the 100.3s, but they did have the Avaris equivalent. So those I'm using 1 strand over 2 threads. Mainly it's the outer border red. This guy is also on my whip go for September. Oh, for September, one of the numbers I finished, and that was 2,000 stitches all together. All my projects all together. I've met that already. And the other was 10 days on Saviour's Praise by Shakespeare's Peddler. This was my first time ever stitching on 40 count, and now I stitch a lot on 40 count, but I only had some of this vine done, and that was it. And I have glue on my fingers. That's what that goop is. That's all I had done, and I am just using the DMCs. I'm using, see, this is R&R 40 count beach brew, and I am using 1 strand over 2 threads. Oh, okay. My needle is in a weird location. Park it up there. So I've been able to do 4 days worth on this piece, 4 of the 10, and I'm really liking it. And I have been able, this fabric has a mind of its own. I have been able to, the first page ends right in here. So I finished off the vine. I only had this main vine done. I had a couple of stems coming off it, but I've been able to add all of that in 4 days worth of stitching. And this is where the letters start. So I was going to kind of finish page 1 and then go on. This guy here, this little kind of zigzaggy border, I have it stranded over here because I know that the first page ends over here, and I don't want to get too far because, yeah, I will screw up my counting. I know myself. So I was going to work on the letters, just kind of fill it in and work my way across and then work my way down. And these colors are just beautiful. So yeah, I started this beginning of 2020 and I just never picked it back up. So with my Whip Go, I've picked it back up. And it is in a Mama Joan bag. These beautiful ladies with roses as the lining. And I did notice, this is not Joan's fault, I did notice that my pattern was sticking to the plastic, so just be aware of that with these bags. Keep them out of the sun so the plastic doesn't stick to your project or your pattern or anything in it. This has my threads and my scissors. Also Mama Joan. So I bought a set for myself for my birthday a couple years ago. So Sampler September, been doing that. But to start Sampler September, I had to have a new start. And so I went through and figured out which sampler, and Bucklebury sampler. This I blame on Deb from Country Stitchers. She showed it and I had to find it, and it took a while to find. My LNS didn't have it at the time, or maybe it was just out and they were waiting for it to come in. But I did find it. I actually bought it at Galleria 2019 directly directly from Karen Kluba, the designer. It is charted all in DMCs, and that's what I'm using. This is 36 count antique white. I'm using 1 strand over 2 threads, and I'm enjoying the process. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. So again, it's all DMC, and these are the beautiful colors. Just, they're yummy colors. And somebody, it was Joe. Joe and Terry had a video, and she was talking about making floss drops and having cardstock. This is a blank playing card I got off of Amazon. I bought a bunch of blank ones, and so I just made this label. But these are from actual floss drops. Jean Farish's floss drops, love them. But I've also made floss drops out of these because, you know, playing cards, they have that little bit of kind of a waxy surface, but they're also bendable to a point, and they don't tear as easily as other cardstock. So I cut these in half, and then I have 2 floss drops. So you can get a deck of cards, and you can even have a deck of cards with some pretty design on the back if you would like. I just keep mine plain. I like mine plain. And I write the type of thread, and then I write the number or name. And then on the back, I put the symbol for that particular project. And then when I reuse a floss drop, which I have done, I'll either cross off the old symbol, or, you know, that's what whiteout's for, or little labels. Just make sure they're permanent labels and not temporary labels. And that's what I've been stitching. Haul. My haul is my Fiberlicious. I received my nest egg from Trisha at Untitled Threads. If you're looking to build your stash, that's a good way. I get 10 classic colorworks every month, and I'm kind of in the M, N's, and O's, right in there. And it's a nice way to build your stash, and then you have stuff to pull from. I don't know if any of her clubs have openings. She has General Arts, or in the past she's offered General Arts, Weeks, Classic Colorworks, Karen Water Lilies, and some others. You'll have to check. And I'll try and link her Facebook page below. But you can always ask her, and you know, the worst that happens, she says, no, I don't have any openings right now. But she probably will. And she does a fabulous job. And I think a very fair price. These are my Fiberlicious threads. I get 5 a month. And where Classic Colorworks is 5-yard skeins, at least I ordered the 5-yard skeins. I think she might have an option to get 10 yards, Trisha. But I do the 5-yard skeins. These are Fiberlicious, and they are 10-yard skeins. And these are the cottons, and it's from her Cherries collection. And these are the 5 from August, and they are just luscious. And I've been looking forward to putting these into my stash, because I see myself using these. This guy is Black Cherry. We put a new light in our room, so hopefully the lighting's a little better. It's very bright compared to what it used to be. This one is Cherry Bomb. This one is Mon Cherry, or My Cherry if you know French at all. I took like 4 years of French, 5 years of French, something like that. This is Rainier Cherry, which actually isn't too far off. I like Rainier cherries. And this one is Ooh La La. So these don't come with a little thing for a ring, but I just take my hole punch, put them in, and hang mine on a ring. Nothing too fancy. But her fibers are luscious to stitch with. They're very, very nice. Her customer service is, I think, fabulous. There was an issue last year sometime. For some reason, my fibers got lost in the mail. I had 2 or 3 months worth lost in the mail, and she's like, that's weird. But she made it right, and I want to order more. I want to order more. I haven't had a chance to go to another stitching store since Country Sampler. I might have an opportunity by the end of the month. I might be able to go to Lynn's of Madison. We will see. I'll definitely go to a quilt shop in that area, because my husband has another shooting event, and he and I are going to take another couples weekend. You have to do that when you can. I mean, it's nothing fancy. Just really those simple times that you can be one-on-one, which is good. Last video I showed, or last update video I should say, I showed fabrics that I had purchased, but I had forgotten to bring the pattern, and this is the quilt. It is also a buttermilk basin. Now this particular one came just with the pattern. It's on glossy paper and the wool. So here it's appliqued in the center with the wool. And these are the luscious wools that came with it. I'm not going to take them out because I don't want to lose them. And I showed you the fabrics that I had for that. And then I also pulled some more from my stash. This one, where's that one for the pumpkin? That I thought would be so cute in the pumpkins, but it's in here somewhere. Excuse me. I give myself 1 Pepsi a week and it's giving back. But, oh, this will be one of the pumpkins. I had this in my stash. Won't that be beautiful? That is roughly 30 by 30 when it's on the wall, so it's going to be a wall hanging in my new entryway. I had a chance of going to a quilt store. It's about an hour from me. I was in the area for another reason. And so I had shown that I picked up this magazine and I had shown this particular quilt that I just thought was beautiful here. It's cotton applique, not wool applique. And I can't remember the size of this one. Applique is definitely new to me. I'm getting into it more. Does it tell me the size of this particular quilt? Roughly 45 by 51. And I don't do Halloween by choice, but I had these beauties here. Were in my stash already, and I had a chance to go to the quilt store and get these guys for the pumpkins and the applique pieces. So yeah, another quilt to cut and have fun with. And then I had this in my stash, Tales of the First Ladies by Eleanor Burns, Quilt in a Day. And this is the big quilt, but I want to do the smaller quilt, the 6-inch blocks instead of the 12-inch blocks. And so I thought, since these are, you know, first ladies, here's an example of the 6-inch wall hanging, roughly 46 by 46 when it's done. So I'm going to use Patriotic Fabrics possibly for that, or another line I had in my stash. And so when I was at the quilt store, I bought this layer cake, all red, white, and blues. And then it's called All American by, I am not sure, Wilmington Fabrics. And this one is vanilla creams, so these are just different background pieces for that flag quilt I showed last time. So like that. And then when I was there, I found this quilt pattern. It's called Liberty. It is by Coach House Designs, and it is roughly 62 by 82 when it's completed. Although I'm thinking I might shorten it to only do 12 blocks or 15 blocks instead of however many blocks there are. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I might only do 15 blocks. But if I don't use those red, white, and blue squares for that, I can use them for this, because the amount that you need is not a huge amount. So I have found that. And then when I went to, I am finishing a quilt top for a friend as a gift, and when I was looking at the quilt shop, I found this guy, and they had, is this one on the wall? I don't think this one was on the wall, but all these little Dresdens. So this guy is roughly 30 by 42, and this little guy is roughly 10 by 12. So more quilts to be done, cut. And why do I have that one? Oh, and this one, I gotta do this one just for fun. This is from Better Homes and Garden Quilt Sampler. I have to do this one for fun. Get a better picture. The gnomes. technically this, it's hard to know where the quilt box start and end. And I can't even figure out where they start from this because the background blends so well. But yeah, anyway, I have to do that one. That was fun. And I still have to quilt my other gnomes from last year. So, in video 143 from Wisconsin, when I said road trip is the name of the title. We're on the road. I had a giveaway, and the giveaway is still open. It is open until September 30th, 2021, and I will draw close to that time. What am I giving away? I'm giving away some project bags that I made because I like to do that. And FYI, the end of October is my 7th Flosstube anniversary. Here's one of the bags. Bag. Bag. These are all roughly 16 by 13. I will ship anywhere. So, how do you enter? On video 1, I should probably double check to make sure that's the right video. 143. We're gonna go with that number. I don't know what video this one is going to be. If it's not, I'll correct it below. You can only comment on that video for the bags. If you can comment on this video, but if you want to be entered to win the drawing for the bags, that's the video it counts on. You cannot say any of the troll words. Win, contest, prize, gift, present, might. I mean, there's words that people troll for to win things that they can turn around and resell. I want these to go to Stitchers. I will send anywhere in the world. Do realize though, I will be folding these up to send them to you. And if that bothers you, they're 100% cotton. You can just steam iron them out and they'll be fine. They're all lined, and the bottom I secured, so your scissors shouldn't go through the bottom. And again, I'll ship anywhere. It might take some time though. Postal services are improving compared to what they were just a few months ago. But again, it's a little hit or miss. So just give time. And I always try and send a tracking number, but with international mail, there's limits on that. But if I have a tracking number and you win the bags, you contact me and I have a tracking number, I will give you the tracking number. And then I just ask that you let me know that you received it. So, what are the words I'm going to look for? Oh, you can enter to win any of the bags, but you can only win one. So if I'm drawing, and there's 7 bags, so if you win bag number 2, you are not eligible from that point on to win any of the remaining bags. Only 1 bag per person. This bag has these little kind of bubbles, animals, and the lining is this kind of typography lining. I like to put the little label metal thingies. I'm not putting them on these bags because I know not everybody likes that. I'm not sure how that would go through the postal service, to be honest. It might flag something we don't want to be flagged. This hair. I tried to get in this week and she was just all booked. Anyway, this one if you would like to win this one, use the word animals, plural. This one with the same dots is very sea oriented. It has, you know, discover new things, wish upon a star, water wishes, ride the waves, be wild and free at the sea, sea life. So that is the word. Oh, let me show you the middle, the inside. It's S-E-A. This one, it says focus on the good, gather happy moments, create a beautiful life, find joy in simple things. Just really nice, uplifting little quotes. And this is kind of a honeycomb, white on gold, and the liner is the same fabric. The liner is the same fabric. Good, G-O-O-D. This guy. It's also in blue. And the interior is this circles, interlocking circles. And the interior on this one I think is a kind of a peach pinky color. Yeah. One of them is bird and one of them is pumpkin, and I can't remember which one is which. This one is bird, B-I-R-D. And this one is pumpkin, P-U-M-P-K-I-N. Yes, I can spell. That's just a loose thread there. I don't know if this thing here, this loose thread's driving me nuts, is a gourd or what, but I'm calling it a pumpkin. So if you like the blue one, it's pumpkin. If you like the brown one, it's bird. Patriotic. Very appropriate for today. It's a chevron lining on the inside. This is flag, F-L-A-G. Similar fabric. I picked up the flag fabric in Cincinnati, well, Glendale specifically, and it has red lining. Eagle, E-A-G-L-E. Again, you don't have to use them in a fancy sentence, although some of them have been very interesting, the way that people have combined the words. Eagle, singular, flag, singular, pumpkin, singular, bird, singular. And if I'm wrong on the brown or the blue, that I have them switched, I don't think I do. I'll make the correction. We'll make it good. Good, G-O-O-D, C-S-E-A, and animals, plural. And I will close the drawing on September 30th, 2021. So there's still time. I know I'm still watching videos from July, so that's why I like to have that long time frame. And my schedule should start slowing down about then. Knock on wood. So what am I going to do the rest of the month? I'm going to focus on my samplers. Specifically, I've been focusing on Savior's Praise. I want to get those last 5 days done so I can mark off my whip go. And if I want to continue working on that, I'm going to just go with it. I also want to add to Anne Morrison. I'll tackle those eyelets. What I've discovered is if I do like a ring of eyelets and then go do something else, because I have to do the outer ring of that heart, there are initials that have eyelets, and then her name has eyelets. I'm so tempted to do Smyrna on her name below, but I need to do eyelets for those other initials, otherwise it's going to not match and it'll bug me. But I don't know if her assignment was eyelets. Maybe that was her assignment, but oh my word, she loved eyelets. It's a beautiful piece. So if you have not started stitching it, please don't be scared of the eyelets. And I have seen it where somebody, instead of doing the eyelets, they did Smyrna crosses. Beautiful. So either way, you can probably even throw in a road style stitch or something if you want, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sampler. And that's all I have for today. I will probably come back beginning of October to announce the winners of the giveaway. I might have a video between now and then. Somebody had asked about my stash, and I did those videos, but there was another question, and I might do that video. I will be adding more quilty tubes to my channel that will focus on specific quilts like I did this one. Watch them if you want to watch them. Don't watch them if you don't want to watch them. We're good. I will also put some Flosstubers down below that I've been watching. Some of them are new to me, like Heige or Hughie Stitcher. I watched her first one, and there's a few others. Crafty Stitchers, and they're funny. Oh my word, they're so funny. And the Tassie Stitchers are back. It's been a while since I did a video. I have it to watch later. I haven't actually watched. I loved their videos before, so I'm glad to see them back. But I'll put those below. I'll link everything I can possibly link, which I always try and do. Give me a couple days because sometimes computer time is limited. We're in homeschooling, and I have 5 students. Their math is online and their science is online, at least the lecture part of the science. Science is a weak area of mine, so it's really nice to have that resource. And he's a medical doctor. He's got the expertise, and so and time. And I'm still doing my walking and all that. So I do that, and then school, and you know, got to eat somewhere in there and take a shower somewhere in there because my family appreciates that. You know, it's life. But just give me some time, and if I do forget, just gently remind me. And I'll put my email below and my Instagram below. And in closing, I just say, remembering this day is a good thing, because the adage, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it, is very true. I don't care where you live in the world, where you're at in your life. Don't be afraid of learning new things. I still keep learning about history. I've been teaching my children for 25 years, and we cycle through, and this year we're cycling through the 1800s. I'm still learning new things. I read a book this week, I don't remember what it was, but I probably read over it 3 times, well, probably 13 times or more over the years, and now I have more knowledge. So don't be afraid of other cultures. Don't be afraid of other people. With all these COVID measures, one casualty, I think, is civility, and that's sad. And it's making us afraid of other people, and that's not what we need. I mean, I have allergies, and I know I'm not the only one, so if I sniffle in the grocery store, people are freaked out. It's like, it's not COVID. COVID is a real virus. This is not COVID. This is allergies. I go through it every single year. And hopefully it doesn't kick in my asthma and make it hard for me to breathe. Don't be afraid of your neighbor. Reach out to your neighbors. Do good things for your neighbors. Oh, I'm going to also link the Quilting Marine, his channel. I just found him, and he's funny. He's just so funny, and he is doing Alzheimer awareness, making quilts for those who are suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's, because there's other reasons for dementia, and their caregivers. And I am trying to figure out how I can do that, how I can contribute, make a quilt and give it to someone. So yeah, you reach out, love your neighbor. Love your neighbor. That is if that's the one lesson we need to learn from 9/11 and other events, this recent stuff in Afghanistan and stuff, love your neighbor. They don't have to be identical to you. You don't have to be identical to them, but love your neighbor. Love to you all, and I will see you at the beginning of October. Bye.